So tonight's talk, what we're looking at is probably should have been the first one of this category, listening to God, but we had other ideas on that. So, and there were other people that came. So we had Eric and Chris talk about different aspects of meditation and prayer. But tonight we're going to talk about the Holy Spirit. Who has an idea of what the Holy Spirit is? You can just say whatever's on your mind. It doesn't have to be correct, or it doesn't have to be wrong. There's no wrong. Well, there might be. I don't know. Okay, well, we'll look at a few instances in the Bible where the Holy Spirit shows up. And the first one is actually in Genesis 1:2. And it says in Genesis 1:2 that during the creation, you know what Genesis 1:1 says?
You know what Genesis is?
Genesis in the Bible, the first book of the Bible, Old Testament. The first verse is, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, right? And in the second line, it says, somebody want to read it? It's on your paper. It's on the top left corner. Do you need a paper, Lexi?
Oh, yeah. I may or may not need that.
What does it say? Upper left box. Genesis 1:2.
And empty darkness.
A little louder.
Darkness was over the surface of the deep.
And?
And the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters.
Very good. The Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. What was the Spirit of God doing? Yeah, that's all we know, hovering. But some people would think... Questions?
None.
Some people would think that the Holy Spirit only shows up in the New Testament after Pentecost, which is where the Spirit came down and everybody's tongues were on fire. And so some people think that that's when the Holy Spirit started. But according to this verse, the Holy Spirit was involved in creation.
Did you say tongues?
Tongues on fire.
Is that like a new method it's an ancient method of torture?
You would think so.
Great idea.
But it was actually an exciting fire. It wasn't a burning fire. It was like a fire that they were like, yeah! Maybe like an Ozzy Osbourne fire. So, but the word in Hebrew, as you can see in there, for Spirit of God in Genesis is ruach. Can everybody say that? Ruach. And it literally means wind or breath. So kind of that air thing, wind or breath. And you can write that in there. Ruach, R-U-A-C-H. And then there's another instance where, which one was next? Yes, this is Jesus talking in, is it John or Mark? John. And Jesus says that I am going to send you an advocate. Okay, and it says in the Bible, advocate. This word could also be helper. This word could also be Holy Spirit. And the word there is parakletos, which is Greek. Is that written on your? Yeah, you wouldn't want to have to write that. So, somebody want to read that verse? Anybody from this table know how to read? The second one, the middle one. All right, Zach, take it away. Nice and loud.
But the Advocate, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, will teach you all things, and will remind you of everything I have said to you.
Okay. Thank you. So the Holy Spirit will help you to understand everything that Jesus said. The Holy Spirit is going to guide you. There's a lot of passages around there where people are given a responsibility to go speak to other people. And the people that are charged with speaking to other people say, "Me? I don't know what to say." And then the next part of the conversation would be, well, the Holy Spirit will tell you what to say. And that's a really common occurrence in the Bible. So, how do you know? How do you know when the Holy Spirit's telling you to say something to somebody? How do you know when it's like, you got to go lead the charge in your school? Hey, stop picking on that person. How do you know when it's the Holy Spirit leading you to do that? You just know?
Yep.
Oh, that's good. It might be true. All right, and then the third instance is when, is this Jesus speaking here? It's Mark. John, it's John the Baptist speaking. Somebody want to read that one?
Oh, me.
I can read.
No.
Zach, we'll just have you be the reader today.
Is the third one?
The third one.
Alright. I, John, baptize you with water, but he, Jesus, will baptize you with the Holy Spirit.
Okay, so John the Baptist would baptize people in the Jordan River. Obviously, that's water. And he said that somebody's coming, Jesus, who would baptize you with the Holy Spirit. Or some other translations say, baptize you with fire. So, Halloween's coming up. So Jesus' baptism and the baptism that we still celebrate is that kind of baptism with the Holy Spirit. The word Holy Spirit there is actually pneuma, which is P-N-E-U-M-A. So you can write that near that one. P-N-E-U-M-A. Some people say pneuma, but actually in the Greek it's pronounced pneuma. So sounds kind of funny to us. So a lot of times we just say pneuma. I don't know if you've ever seen the Rob Bell videos, but they're called pneuma, and it's N-O-O-M-A, which is just totally wrong. But I think that's the idea he's trying to get across, that here's the Spirit, And pneuma, again, means wind, breath, So this is like the definition, according to the words that are used anyway, of what the Holy Spirit is. What is it? What do you guys think so far? Wind. Yeah, the Spirit is like the wind of God. And, this is maybe an image of what the Holy Spirit is. Maybe it's not exactly what it is, but maybe that's about as close as we can come. Are there other things that you can't see but exist like that? Like, can you see the wind?
Yeah.
You can?
Yeah.
How?
You can see the trees, you can see the bushes.
Ah, you see the effects of the wind.
Right.
But do you actually see the wind?
Well, I don't know, have you ever seen anything without the wind there?
Yes, I see it.
What?
That's happening. Mind blown.
Yeah.
What do you say?
We have seen the wind, but we don't know if we have seen the wind because we've never seen anything without the wind there.
Okay, thank you, Anthony. Thank you for that philosophical thought.
There's no wind in your doors.
So Jesus says in this one passage, the wind blows wherever it pleases. You hear it sound, but you cannot tell where it comes from or where it's going. Can you tell where the wind came from?
Yes. You can get little thingies that blows and shows you where wind.
Well, yeah, but where did it start?
The wind comes.
Where did it start?
From where it's not going. Yeah. See,
God's mouth.
You don't know.
It's the warm front and the cold front. They go.
You could say it started in the west, but where does the west start? Soon it becomes the east. So Jesus says, the wind blows wherever it pleases. You hear its sound, but you cannot tell where it comes from or where it's going. So it is with everybody born of the Spirit. Interesting. So even Jesus uses that wind analogy. Again, that's pneuma, you know. And maybe it's not just wind, but maybe it's like breath, the breath of God. I don't know. So, interesting. What do you think so far? So basically, kind of like the wind, you really only notice the Spirit when there are effects, you know. So maybe you get this sense of something. Maybe somebody else does this incredible thing that they really could have only done with God's power, you know, or said the right thing at the right time, led by God. So we feel the effects of the Spirit, but we don't always know exactly what the Spirit's up to. What's the difference between like the Spirit and God? Maybe talk about it at your tables. Is that easier? Talk about it at your table. See what you come up with. Cut.